Hello, welcome to my new video. In this video, we are going to learn modifiers. In our previous video, we learned some of the basic tools, data insert, bevel, and a little more tools in our edit mode. So without any further ado, let's get started. So now I am just going to change this mode, but before that, set my screencast keys. So now from here we can change our views from object to edit mode. Then we just have, or we can also do this by just pressing tab on our keyboard. We can slide to object mode, and then if I tab again on my keyboard, then I can just change my mode. So now what we are going to do first we are going to review little bit. So what is this? This is called vertex. What vertex means? A point. A point. This point, that point, or this point. These all are the vertex. If we are combining more vertex, like more than one vertex is called vertices. So now the middle line you are able to see from this vertex to this, or the joining line of two vertex is called edge. So this is called edge. This. How will you know if I am selecting anything? Then you will see the white line. If I select this, this will black line turns into white line like this. It will highlight like so. Yeah, this is called edge. The point, a line which connects two vertex are called edge. And after that, there is a face. What mean by face? Face is a simple, very simple. So every side of any plane, oh, like let's say it's a plane, only consider the upper part. So every side of this plane is slit in. When it's slit in, it's called face. So this is a face. The whole for vertices, for edges, combination of four vertices and edges are called face. And then after that we learned some basic tools. So after there's a tool called extrude. So most of the time I use this tool by just pressing short keywords on my keyboard to do. So for extrude we just have to press E on our keyboard. Here you will see the string cards. What will I press on my keyboard? So with E on your keyboard, you can extrude this as much as you want, like this length or this or this. Then if I want to insert our face into another face, like I want to make a face in a face. So like this, we just have to press I on our keyboard, then insert it as much as you want. Then if we want to increase the length of our inserted face, then we just have to press E on our keyboard again and then increase it a bit. So now when I change the edit mode into the object mode, you are able to see the look of this face. If you are in the edit mode, you will see the geometry, the topology of the object. But when you are in the object mode, you will see the actual look of the object, how it will turn into. So now you are able to see the edges are very sharp of this object. Now if I want to smooth it, then I can apply a bevel tool on this. We just have to go into the edit mode from here and then select anywhere, any face or any vertices or any edge. Like this, I am selecting this vertex. Then press A on your keyboard. It means by A, the all length object or length face, vertices or edges of this object will be selected. and then I just have to press Control B on my keyboard. Here you will be able to see the segments. If I press Control B on my keyboard, then here you are able to see where my mouse cursor is adjusted, the segments. If I scroll down with my scroll wheel in my mouse, it will increase. But here you are not able to see a difference. Let me right click and then press Control B again, and then you are able to see the front of this. The more I increase the segments, the more smooth object it will be. So let's add little four, I guess four segments. No, it's like four segments. Yeah, like this, and then bevel it. Yeah, like this. Now when I turn this into object mode, here you will able to see there are few errors like this because it's a, what can I say, it's a mess up topology, and sometimes it's happened, so we have to correct it. But now I am not going to tell you all this. These things will be in our coming lectures. So now you are able to see it's a little bit smoother than before. But let me undo this all. Now I just have to duplicate this by Shift D on my keyboard. I told you already, if you want to duplicate any object, you just have to press Shift plus G on your keyboard to duplicate it. And then place it anywhere you want and just left click on your mouse. Now I want to change the edit mode and then press A on my keyboard to and press bevel tool. Control B on my keyboard to bevel my object. And then like this. I just want to do this light bevel, then change the view. Now here you are able to see the difference between both objects. I duplicate this object area because I want to see the difference between two similar or same exact objects. So now it's a little bit more smoother than this. Then you just have to press shift. Oh, sorry. You just have to press right click on your mouse and then shade smooth this. It will look like a lot smoother. And sometimes this shade happens if you shade smooth your object, then you just have to go to shade auto smooth. Then this will be all right. Now let me delete these both two objects. Now we are going to our new tools, which are what are they? So now after this there's a called loop cut. What is loop cut? Loop cut to add any cut into the object like this, 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 this. Now you are able to see I added cuts in my object. Before this, let me undo this, all the cuts. If, if you are applying any modifier or you want little more geometry in your object, then you add loop cuts in your object. For now, this is all theory I am just telling you, but after a little while, you will see the actual projects when you built it. Then you will see the loop when you needed the loop cut in your object and all that. Now, there is also a simple shortcut on your keyboard to do to press to add a loop cut. Control R, and with your scroll wheel you can increase the number of cuts you want to add in the in your object. And in the upper part here you will see how many cuts are you adding in your object. So if I press Ctrl R like this, now in the upper part you will see how many turns I am doing in the object, like 10 turns now. And if I decrease a bit, like 5 or 3, like this 4, and I just have to press right click on my mouse and like this. Now I added 4 turns in my object. Now I want to add 4 turns here. Then I just have to press Ctrl R on my keyboard again, and then here I just have to scroll it down a bit to make it 4 cards, and then yeah, right, like this. I added 4 cards from here, from here. Now I have to add 4 cards from here, like this. Now it will look like, now it will look like a complete, not a Rubik box, but like that. So with loop cards you can do this. And yeah, now don't be little nervous about it. When we will do some type of projects or examples renders, then you will see when it's needed of loop cards and like that. So I am just telling you a little simple example. When you need, let me just delete this cube and add another object like default cube. How will we add? By pressing shift on your keyboard, then this toolbar will pop up and you just have to go select cube, and then if I am going to this modifier panel, and then just going to add modifier into generate, and then just add subdivision surface modifier. Now it will look like what this shape called, I don't remember. So it's runs from cube to an other object because subdiv modifier gives too much smoothness to an object. But if you are change the mode of this object mode to the edit mode, and then just add little few loop cuts, like I am adding 4 cuts like this, or let me increase the cuts like Control R, and then I am just having 20 cuts, like yeah, 20 cuts. And from side I am also going to add 20 cuts. Now you will see, if I let me shade smooth this, it's also the same cube, look like that, but it's a lot smoother than it was. So like this, we need to add a loop cut when we are going to apply subdivision modifier on any object. So at that time we need to apply the loop cuts to give a little roughness to our objects. So don't be nervous at this time. This is a very early stage to talk about these things. But when you have little experience, a little more practice in it, you will learn how these things work. So don't be nervous. And yeah, now before moving to any new tool, let's talk about modifiers. How modifier works. So let me just delete it. How we delete any object? Just press X on your keyboard. First you have to select any object and then press X on your keyboard to delete any object. And now what you have to do, just press add, or you can do to shift A on your keyboard to add a cube, or you add any object, any other object you want. And now go to this modifier and see, and go to the generate, and now I am going to tell you what does ray modifier do. So if you select this ray modifier, now you are able to see it was like this. It was like this is from tube, complete tube. Now another tube is also added to the tube. Now here you will see the round is 2. Now let me freeze it. Now let me increase the round like 4, and then just increase 1.1. Now you are able to see we have just one tube. Now it's from 1 we have now 4 tubes. So there are 3 tubes are additionally added to our one tube. But this is all in one object. So that's the amazing thing about ray modifier. What does ray modifier do is